Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on and make a quick video. I had a lot of questions come in through email, and I wanted to come on and just share the knowledge with everyone, not just respond to that one email. I think our entire cleaning community could get some value from this information. They were very good questions from a local cleaning company here in Canada. First of all, thank you for following along and sending me an email. I love getting emails like this. But I do have some questions here that I'm going to answer. It's kind of like a Q&A. This video is a Q&A. And then feel free to leave any more questions you have down below. But let's go ahead and start with the first one. Someone's asking, how do you acquire all of your clients? Well, in multiple different ways. This person's particular asking about our direct mail. Yes, we do get 90% of all of our clients through direct mail. We do have a mailing system that we use, which I have a completely separate video with me and Carolyn Arellano talking about the amounts of mailers you should send out, what the mailer should say, etc., etc., etc. So I'm not going to answer that in detail. We have a video on that already. Number two, the sales follow-up. Do you have a structured follow-up process after making the first contact with a prospect? Do you approach each opportunity differently? I pretty much approach all of our potential leads the same. Most of every one of those clients, they all have a problem they are trying to solve. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, we're going to meet with them, we're going to walk the facility, see what's going on with their current vendor. And a lot of times I'll tell you, they're not paying enough. Number one, the stuff that they're complaining about isn't even in their contract. And a lot of times people just like to complain. People love to complain. You know, unfortunately, the cleaning industry is full of a bunch of complainers and people that will never be happy. But then you have the ones that are very happy. Like, you know, I've been doing this for 11 years now, and I'll tell you, I have some of the best clients and I have some of the most needy clients. And I have some clients that we just unfortunately can't work with long term and we just end up getting rid of. Like, actually this week we had to get rid of a client. She said that all 5 of the crew members did not show up to the shift when our manager, in fact, was there on site, and they did do the work that was in the contractual agreement. And she's trying to add on all this stuff that's not in our agreement, like scrubbing walls inside of rooms that weren't a part of the contract. So that's why it's very important from the beginning to make sure that when you walk the facility, you're very specific with everything in the entire facility, no matter how large the building is. You need to take the extra time. But I think I kind of went off topic here. You were asking, how do you follow up? So back to your original question, I do 3 follow-ups in 3 weeks. The first one is just a check-in to see if they have any questions. The second one is just letting them know you're there. If you want us to come in for a meeting or meet with you guys to answer any specific questions in person or do a Zoom call or whatever the case is. And the third one's my final one. My final one is, you should have an answer to me by now. It's been 3 weeks. I guarantee most of all the other cleaning companies have sent in the bids. It depends. Some of the larger ones might take a little bit longer, but tends to be, 3-week point, they should have an answer to you. And if they don't, they're just wasting your time. So at that point, all I say is, hey, it's Dave from DCC Commercial Janitorial, Baltimore, Maryland. Just reaching out, wanted to follow up. Did you make a final decision? Either myself or my admin will go ahead and send that. Usually my admin will send the follow-ups just to take that work off my shoulder. Next one is staffing. They ask, how do you handle situations when cleaners call out sick or leave unexpectedly? Do you maintain a roster of on-call staff, or do you have another system in place to ensure that the accounts get cleaned? To answer your question on that one, at the end of the day, it's your business, right? If a staff member leaves either in your office or in the field, that's your problem to figure out. That's your problem, that you've got to have a system in place. So you're asking what system we have in place. Our system is, yes, we do have a roster of cleaners that work at other locations that are willing to pick up extra hours. We do have extra people. We're constantly onboarding new people because people are constantly changing the schedule, leaving. It's the cleaning business. Obviously, it doesn't happen every week, but some weeks, yes, it does happen where we have someone leave a building or leave a team and we have to get it filled fast. So my recommendation to you on that is always hire. Always keep looking. People always say, oh, but I'm always hiring. You need to continuously look for people, even when you're not hiring. You're always still interviewing, and then you just, you can put them on slowly or start them with a slow schedule, and then when an opening does come, you can go ahead and give them a full schedule. That's what we do, so I would recommend that. Another question here is employees versus subcontractors. If you were building your business again today, would you choose employees over subcontractors? In Canada, employer costs, blah, 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 blah. How do you... Yeah, so I completely understand that. So I guess in Canada, stuff is every state, every place is different. So they're saying that it costs a lot, which it costs a lot anywhere. But my recommendation is to you, I always tell people, if you want control, have employees. If you don't really care and you're not really worried about the control aspect, then get the W-2, the 1099, Yeah, so W-2 versus 1099. W-2, you have a lot more control. You tell them what to do, you train them your systems, they can wear your uniforms. Then you got your 1099 where you don't really have control over them, right? They're supposed to have their own cleaning supplies. You're really not supposed to give them instruction at all. They're their own thing. You're not supposed to have them wear your uniform. And then with the W-2s, I personally would recommend W-2. W-2 is number one, you have control. All my staff are W-2. And, they come in, they do their job, and they go home and they get a paycheck from us, right? And any issues or concerns, it all comes through us, and we can directly fix it. I can't go tell the 1099s what to do. I can recommend things, but I can't tell them what to do. They're not my employees. So I think people really do get that mixed up. But I will say W-2 employees are very, very hard to keep. No matter how much you pay them, no matter how good you treat them, people will always leave. I mean, it's just what it is. And especially we're in the cleaning business, you can't, unfortunately people leave, and that's just what it is. You have to accept that. Next one is growth strategy. This person said, we're still a relatively pretty small company with only 5 commercial contracts. Our operations are running well. Well, that's good. But sales remains our biggest challenge. If you were in our position today, which markets would you focus on? That's a great question. I love that question. So personally, I would go after the Monday through Fridays that need cleaning every single night. So that could be a Class A office building. That could be the multi-tenant buildings. That could be the medical offices. I highly recommend going after small to medium-sized doctor offices that need cleaning every day. The doctor's offices have so much trash. They need all their consumables filled. They want all their stuff highly disinfected each and every night. The sinks in all the surgical rooms, they want them scrubbed and polished. They want all of the front, sides, and bottoms of all of the exam tables done. They want the stuff hanging from the ceiling dusted off. So those are really essential, right? So I would go after the Monday through Friday accounts. And I would say stay away from post-construction. I personally, we do post-construction, but we don't do much of it. I'll say it's very patchy. It's here and there. It's not consistent. So if I'm telling someone that's just starting up or want more work now, go after reoccurring janitorial that's consistent. That's the key, consistency, right? If you get a contract that's $10,000 a month every single month, you just keep adding to it. And that's what it is. You should just go after the, reoccurring one, excuse me. Hopefully that answered. Biggest early mistake. Looking back, what was one mistake that you made early in your business that you would encourage another commercial cleaning company to avoid? Well, there was many. I think for me, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do carpet cleaning. I wanted to do strip and waxing. I wanted to do house cleaning. I wanted to do everything. So, for me, it was just narrowing down exactly what I wanted to do. And honestly, I've been doing this now for 11 years, and probably I will say the last 3 years of our business, we've really narrowed it down to just doing janitorial work. Our company does do strip and wax and carpet cleaning and window cleaning. I work with another company, which we do subcontract out for any of our, we call it the special work. So strip and wax, carpet cleaning, window cleaning. That's all we sub out. All my cleaning work is done in-house by our W-2 employees. I will tell you, you need to find someone, if you want to do that, you need to find someone that you can trust, that you can communicate with if you're going to do that. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if you offer those services and it goes wrong, it comes back to you. We have worked with people in the past where we've had issues with, and guess what? It comes back to us. We had a strip and wax go wrong at one of our accounts, and it came back on us because guess what? That cleaning partner that we had lied to us and said they had experience when they really didn't, and they showed us pictures of not their work, and they gave us fake references. So you have to be really careful. The company we work with now, it's a smaller family company, and they do all of our strip and wax, carpet cleaning, and window cleaning. And I will tell you, they communicate with us, they do great work, and anything that comes up, they'll take care of it for us. So highly recommend, you need to get a good relationship if you're considering that. But yeah, so just kind of to finalize that question, definitely just pick one thing that you're good at and do it really well and do it. So our one thing at DCC Commercial Janitorial is our janitorial. We do very good janitorial. We're known for janitorial services. Can we please everyone? No, not everyone will ever. You can't make everybody happy. You can't. But you're going to pick that one thing and do it well. So hopefully that's good. All right. Advice to your younger self. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice when your company was at the same stage as ours, and back to what he said, he had 5 contracts, which that's amazing. 5 contracts. Hey, that's amazing. Congratulations on those 5. What would it be? One piece of advice that I would give myself is not beating myself up so much. Like I said, I took on every single thing that came our way. I was working all hours of the nights. And keep in mind, I started this when I was in school. I was working nights. And I'll tell you, I was beating myself up. And even when I ended up finishing school and I did this full time, I will say I let people take advantage of us. I let people be extremely rude to us. And I learned one day I think there was one day I woke up, I said, I'm not putting up with it anymore. And I got rid of all those clients one by one that treated us terribly and were just not good to us. Sometimes you let go. So that would be my advice to my younger self, is just take what I can handle, do it really well, and only, like I said, do things that you're good at, not take on everything, because it will ruin you very fast. And another thing to tell you, business is so amazing because it's like 1 week you have, only 5 contracts, and then next month you just got another 10 because someone reached out to you that had 10 locations and they want you to do them all, and you got them. Like, business is so great because you can take it to any level you want, and that's, I think, what I love the most about it. But yeah, so just take one thing at a time, take one job at a time, and I always just babied every single contract. I made sure they were happy. I was calling, I was checking in, anything they weren't happy, that I was going back and fixing. But you have to just be careful you don't get taken advantage of, because as you begin to scale, you can't sit there and baby every single, client. But you need to have systems in place so it just flows. The client comes, you set the account up, you get the staff. You've got to just make it flow, which I can definitely help anybody with that. If they set up a one-on-one with me, I can talk with you and we can really narrow down what, I recommend for your business in particular. Okay, let's see. Another question. Your 12-month roadmap. If you were in my shoes today with 5 commercial cleaning clients and a solid foundation, what would you focus on the next 12 months to build a scalable commercial cleaning company? That is a great question. And you also asked, just as importantly, what would you intentionally avoid? So, number 1, I would go ahead and I would start my mailer campaign, which I have a whole video on that. I would start sending out to hundreds of businesses. Start off small. I have the amounts on the video, but start off small and then gradually grow. I would do door-to-door. I would be cold calling businesses. If you want to spend some money, then you could do Google paid ads or SEO on your website. I personally do not do any of that, so I can't speak on that. I have in the past, and it just hasn't worked out very well for me. I personally like the old school method. So, like I said, mailer campaigns, door to door, cold calling, they do work. They still work in 2026, I will tell you. So, I would go ahead and I would start with those things. The basic things of doing, the old school, right? Do the old school things and, see if that works for you. And then if that doesn't work, then maybe you look into SEO and Google ads and all that stuff. But start with the basic things, and I would be surprised if you don't email me in a few weeks or a few months and you say, Dave, I got my first couple calls off those mailers. I got my first couple walkthroughs off the cold calls on the door-to-door. So, that would be my recommendation. And then I would definitely recommend, it says, just as importantly, what would you intentionally avoid? Well, what I would avoid is taking on things that I know that I can't do well, and I know that it won't end well, right? I took on everything, every call that came to me, like literally any call for a house clean, commercial clean, everything. Even the commercial cleans. I remember when I was just so excited they were coming in, and they're great that they're coming in, but they might just not be a right fit for you. Like, I just got a couple leads this week. We got some restaurant leads, and we got some other leads that came in this week, and our admin team always sends them to me for review, and I tell them if it's the right fit for us or not. I'm not all about the money at this point. At this point in my business, I'd rather have peace than have 300 fires to put out, right? I have all of our work is very consistent. We do janitorial, so most of all my contracts are 3, 4, 5 days a week, some even 7. And we really narrowed down to Monday through Friday cleanings. We really honed in on, really only wanting Monday through Friday cleanings because, number one, our ladies can, have the weekends off. All of our crews can be with their family. We do have some that still get done on weekends, but we have most of all of our work Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to overnight. We do have some day porter contracts as well for the larger buildings. So just keep that in mind. It sounds like you're doing great. And for anyone watching this, if you have any other specific questions, these questions were phenomenal. I don't think I've heard such good questions in a long time. So thank you for sending these. I'm sure a lot of people will value this information. And yeah, thanks again for emailing.